Hey everybody. Let's see, my chat window not working yet. That's not cool. Well, that makes it difficult. Awesome. Let's see if I can get the chat window to pop up here really quickly. And there we go. Hey everybody. There we go. Got Infinity, David, Mark, Philip, Dex, John. I was trying to read. Philip wrote, "Good morning." Yeah, look forward to it as a positive trading day. Well, we hope, right? We hope it's a good day. John, Larry, Alan, George, Ben, Gregory, Deb, Tara, Brian, Suckbeer, Craig, Gary, Tim, Francois, Rungamer, Darren, Don, Kimberly, Sergio. Good morning, everybody. Chris. Hey, I don't recognize your name, Chris. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Anthony, Ray, Laura, Jan, welcome everybody. If you want to chat with all these fine folks and myself, just click the link over here, the little subscribe button, and be a subscriber. A few moments later, you get to chat, you get to say good morning, you get to hang out, you get to ask questions, talk, comment, whatever. And while I'm live, if I'm no longer live, you're going to have to leave a comment down below. And while you're at it, you might as well give me a thumbs up if I say anything you find beneficial today. Give me a subscribe, hit the bell with the notifications, turn on all notifications, all that stuff. You guys interacting with the video is what pushes it out to more people. So the more people I can help, the better it is. Scout's honor. I'm an Eagle Scout. I do this to help other people. It's not about money necessarily. It's about helping people. So I set out on this goal to help other people not get taken advantage of by the market. I mean, that's really been my goal. I mean, side benefit, I can actually support my family with this. And I thank you all for being supporters. So anyway, jumping into it. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another one of these right again. I get lucky. Gosh, I get lucky, right? And this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. No stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos. Don't buy them, don't sell them, don't buy stuff from gurus that you don't trust. Make sure that you trust everybody. And, that's why I'm doing this, to try to build trust with you. If you don't trust me, don't buy nothing. But if you want to get in Discord, you want to come talk to us, you want to be part of the team, part of the family, part of the trader family, the link is in the description. And it starts out down there. It says 93 watching now, starting 3 minutes ago, blah, 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 blah. And it has a more right at the end of that. If you click the more, expands down, gives you a link. You can, for $5, you can come join us. And hey, that's how you support me. All right. And watching the ads, don't skip the ads. Funny enough, the ads are part of all the whole thing too. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Maybe I'll say something that's beneficial. If I do, interact with the video. Helps me out, the name of the day, the corporate buybacks are ending. And what does that mean exactly? Well, it's pretty crazy. Let me pull up that chart. I don't know why. I think in my haste to try to pop up the chat, I did away with the chart. I was like, the chat's not working. And then I closed this chart right here. This is 4-week average corporate buybacks since 2008. Look, we just hit a record. Like this thing in November. Like that's 2009. These are all the corporate buybacks in a 4-week average. All right. Wow. Right? This November, I've been talking about how this November rally was unprecedented. Well, where'd the money come from? I think we found it. Now, what's important about this? blackout window for Q4 earnings reports, which happen in January, starting in January. The blackout window, which is where they're no longer allowed to buy their own stock. Any insiders are no longer allowed to buy the stock of the company. That blackout window starts Monday. All right. You're blacked out for a certain number of weeks, days ahead of earnings. And then once earnings happen, you can go again. It's to attempt to prevent insider trading. It's just the insider trading rules. And so this source of our current rally going to dry up starting next week. You know what else we have next week? CPI. You know what else we have next week? PPI. You know what else we have next week? FOMC. This could be the perfect storm. All right. That pullback, it could happen. That's why these, a lot of times they spike and then drop. I mean, that's where you get a spike while we can buy back, and then earnings, and then spike again, then earnings, and spike again, and earnings. I think if you go through here, you'll see almost 4 a year, roughly. They won't all be equal. Some of them are bigger than others. If you go through here, you'll probably see 4 little peaks a year, if you were keen on the eye. So that it drives the market, like money flowing in. We got to have buyers, right? We got to have buyers. Buyers and sellers are what make the market. If corporations are buying their own stock, well, what do you expect? We just set a record, and that record's evident in the S&P 500 chart. We saw this crazy move up, one of the fastest, biggest, strongest moves we've seen. Futures pushing up today. Why? But allegedly the weak jobs numbers. Does that make any sense? Weak jobs makes us go higher? No. But I've been talking about we needed one little last squiggle higher. Tag that 4607, make that new high from July. If we can do that, we negate the immediate super bearish setup completely. And then we start on a correction that can be bullish. So I've been kind of expecting that, that was where I left it with you yesterday. I was like, I kind of expect that we might pop it higher than the high we saw right back here in July. Well, we kind of got a downside setup. It was really scary. But this morning, here we are. Once we get above that 4605 level, we're probably going to pop that higher high before we drop. So looking at the small time frames, though, like jumping down, I want to show something really quickly. It's kind of important. Look, this was a 5-wave down right here. Now, getting a little nerdier than I usually do in the morning show here. I got to find my tool to do the count. So this right here, love it or hate it. Where was the 4? Oh, right there. 4 and 5. So it was a 5-wave down. This right here, although that was pretty quick, this right here already looks like an A, a B, and this could be a C right up in here. And when you look at this, the fib levels here, we're sitting right at the 786. This is what I saw right before I got on here. Like, I was thinking that yesterday we topped out. We popped it overnight. And popping it again this morning. Just kind of filling out that C wave until we break above this stuff over here. Watch out below. If we break back, we get back below this. We're doing the correction now. If we break above this, then the cash index is going to make that higher high than 4607 from July. Which do I think it's going to do? Well, right now that downside setup is in place. That's a 1 to a bigger time frame. All right, so highly cautious there. I'm definitely on red alert here. We break above this. In fact, I'm going to start setting levels 40. And funny enough, 4607 on the futures, and down here below, say 4550. It's kind of the range, 50-ish point range. So be careful. All right. That's a somewhat impulsive move down, corrective move up, and you can tell it's corrective because look at these crazy overlapping, nasty, gnarly candles. That sets us up to go on a bigger, deeper drop. If we can pop above this, negates it for now, we start over. So simple as that right now. Does it have to do anything? Shoot, no. All right, get it straight. We don't have to do anything. The potential's on the chart though. All right, and if you have no idea what ES1 is, that's S&P 500 futures. These trade all night. The cash index right here doesn't. We get these gaps, and here in about 2 minutes, we're going to see this gap up. We gap down, we'll gap back up, and there's no overnight data. Like, you can't turn on overnight data. This thing stops at the close. That's why they call it the cash index. Stops at the cash close. You know, sure, the futures keep going, and that's how we know where it's going. Now, this is delayed data. And don't pay for up to the minute data in TradingView. It's delayed by 10 minutes right now. So there's 10 minutes worth of data that I don't have on the chart. Now, in Q, look at this. This is a little different. A little bit different. Look at this move down off this high from right back here in November. We went lower high, lower high, lower high, and this is still a lower high than it was right here. Super cautious. And then this is not impulsive so far. That's overlappy. See this move up, this pull down here, overlap that move up, this pull down here, overlap that one. That's overlapping. And no bueno. And if you don't know what NQ is, that's QQQ. NASDAQ. INDX is the index. And there's the gap up, 21 right there. Right back up in there, but lower high. Do we pop a higher high? We'll see. S5FI still sitting up here at the top. If you didn't know this exists, there's a ticker for it, S5FI. S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day moving average. Yes, there is a NDFI. There's a RDFY, Russell. There's one for S&P, there's one for NASDAQ, there's one for Russell. Maybe it's R2FI. I've got it on the, it's over here somewhere. Yeah, right there, R2FI. So S5FI, NDFI, R2FI. Now, NASDAQ didn't pop 80. Interestingly enough, we're consolidating down here. Russell also has not popped 80. It didn't over here either. Like, it came up short. So is this telling that we're about to pull back, or is it telling that we have a little more upside to go before we exhaust the move? I don't know. It's every time we do this, it's a little different story. But the S5FI is definitely above the 80 line. And every time we get above the 80, it's usually just a matter of time before we roll over. And many times, look, we make an initial push out and then a bigger push out, initial push out, a bigger push out, initial push out. Do we get the bigger push out before we actually roll? Just a pattern. All right. Moving on. Moving on. Oil. CL breaking down below those lows, coming right down into the target around 70. If we get below 69, we're probably tilting the odds to going on down. Maybe down to the 50s. So if you got into UCO aggressively, might want to call it quits if we get below 69. Remember, it's not being wrong that costs you money. It's staying wrong. Don't stay wrong. You can lose all that money. All right. And it looks like we may go for a lower low than what we saw back here in May. Yeah, it's possible if we get below that 69 area. Like that. Why 69? Because that 786 comes in right at 70. It's just like the S&P 500 pattern, except flipped upside down. All right. So this could push down. Gold. Churning. We tag the targets. Getting the retrace. And all those things I erased yesterday came back. Isn't that cool? Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So looks like we may retrace the roadmap line. Of course, we could hold a higher move in here. What kind of higher move? Let's talk about it really quickly. We could hold this zone right here where I got that box, that prior high, that breakout level. And that was breaking out of this. You see the double box there. So we could just retest that. We came really close. Could come on down, retest that, hold, and pop. And then we have a nested like 1, 2, 1, 2 type setup. Could come on back to the roadmap line. Be entirely in the realm of things we do because we popped the 1272 at that 2150. Retrace and then get the next leg. All right. Bitcoin consolidating at the highs. We have significant resistance between 44 and say 50. Now, I've been thinking that 46 was probably the line in the sand for now. That may be as high as we can get. But the longer we do these, the more we do these crazy moves, the more likely the odds are that we actually pop an all-time high before the halving event, before the ETF approval. Now, remember, the more we rally before an ETF approval, the more likely it is that we get a pullback. And it could be a wicked pullback, all right? Don't get the FOMO. Don't build your position now. Wait for a pullback and wait for the good opportunities, all right? These are target opportunities. We're at the top of my range here. All right, we're at the top of the target that I've been talking about for, gosh, I started talking about that last year in October, November. We finally got here. For all those doubters, like right there it was. Could we push a little higher? Yeah. Could we pull back significantly? Yeah. Support is down at 30. Yeah, that's like $15,000 a coin down at this point. So don't just keep loading the boat right now. This is target area. This is not entry area. Please be careful. All right. The money the account you save may be your own. As I say, Ethereum right here. How long did JT say we were hitting 23? Months and months and months. We hit 23 and now we stopped. Stopped dead. For 3 days now. I liquidated my extra position. Significant resistance right here. It's not magic. I just get lucky, you know. Just happen to get lucky. Over and over. I don't know. Well, maybe I figured something out here. I think I get lucky. You can make your own opinion. Dollar. That one. Come on, roadmap line. Here we go. Right up to the roadmap line. Holding. As I said, if we hold the roadmap line, I said we were going to come out and test it. We tested it. There it is. Got lucky on that one again. If we turn down here, break below this trend line, we're going on down. Target was down here in the mid 90s kind of. If we can break above this zone, we're going to come up here and test this. If we get above that, we're going to pop this target zone up here at 108. Simple as that. There's your support resistance lines right there. We came up, retested that. If we turn down, next extension looks just like this. Market roadmap pattern, 102, 101, probably retrace it, and keep on going. Pop through, retest, and keep going. Do I think it's going down? Not necessarily. Do I think it's going up? Not necessarily. This is unclear right now. There's opportunity to go down. There's also opportunity to break out and go higher. I would wait till we're above here if you're going higher. I would wait till we actually turn down back below this orange box and really below this trend line before I would short dollar. All right. Yeah, well, hey, pick it up with E-Trade. It's on, actually, you can get a live chart for it on barchart.com, S5FI. Right there. You have to put the dollar sign. It's an index, technically. So, right there, hanging out at 82. So, that's why I use different things. You can trade UUP. You could trade. You can go to. Trade stuff like FXY, FXE. Come on. They're kind of inversed. Not really. FX. And that one's inversed. So. All right. Moving on. What's actually moving today? Look at that, baby. Biotech, pharma, tech, biomed tech. God, be careful on this stuff. Like, these things just make crazy moves. Might that have been a roadmap pattern? Maybe. Maybe. The upside would be 29. The risk is it drops out. These things are subject to FDA approvals and denials and crazy stuff happening. New drug trials, new whatever. Oh, our drug trial failed and now we're at 0. So this thing went from near 0 to up here at 28. Be careful. NVIDIA. So let's talk about this a second. We have come down and pretty much retested. Now, JT drew this arrow a couple weeks ago that we'd retest that trend line. That happened. See it right there? That happened. That was Monday. Tuesday, get a little update. Wednesday, gap up, but red. If, yeah, here's the big arrow. If we bounce off of it, up. If we roll over, break back down. If we roll over, break back down, roadmap line, or a deeper correction, maybe down to 300. Just happened to get lucky again, expecting that bounce off of that trend line. Be careful, all right? I don't really have a good chat here. I know there seems to be a lot of things happening on the chat, and so that my normal chat thing just didn't load this morning. I don't know. It's all glitched out. I can kind of right there pop in the window. See, it's all glitched out. Anyway, cool. So kind of have my eye on this other chat. So my request show is on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Sorry if you missed it last night. I don't typically take requests in the morning, but if you really need me to check out something, I do have the little dollar sign under the chat there. Throw me a tip. I'd be more likely to do it. I do have a plan this morning, and it's going through all these morning movers, looking for stuff moving for the day. Tesla on the list, popping up a little bit. hanging out here, up, almost 3% today. Still below this trend line. And if we pop over here and look at the clean chart, got a cleaner, higher time frame chart here. Look, it's as simple as this. We made a high in July. We made a lower high in September. Made another lower high in October. We've made another lower high in November. Do you notice a theme here? If we break above that downtrend of lower highs, we could look for a move up. If we respect that and turn down, break below the roadmap line, which has been support quite heavily. I mean, look, been support since early November. Support, 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 support. If we break below that support, we're going down here. We're going to fill that gap. We're going to break below, and we're going to retest the 618, get below the 786, and probably come down here. I mean, that's just odds are lower low, didn't make lower low, made a lower low, could do it again. Could we ride the downtrend line out to earnings and then drop? Yeah. We could do this. And then drop. Or we could pop. All right, be careful. As long as we're below that trend line, the bias is down. All right, everybody clear on that? Everybody clear. If you have any questions, you can ask it. It's as simple as that right now. I don't expect Tesla to do much till we break up or we break down. Support line right in there. We could push it and see. The thing is, we could push this on down below that trend line without popping below these fib lines. So I actually have my alert right down there, hanging out right around 217. I actually have another alert down here if we just suddenly did sudden death drop. I am long TSLQ shares. So short Tesla. All right, moving on. SMCI moving. It was moving up with Nvidia, but that again still does not look bullish. Watch out for that to break down. This is choppy. You can see it's just gone into a sideways chop in a relatively narrow zone compared to what it was doing earlier in the year. Yeah, baby, we're going to 1 million. Uh-oh. All of a sudden we're not. We're just churning sideways. Watch out for a deeper correction here. Sideways stuff, not awesome. Sentinel one, nice pop, up 17% today on a chart that's been down a lot with a huge resistance zone right there. 24 to 29, right around 30. Be careful. That can drop again. We came up right in the zone and dropped. Sudden drop on earnings. We look at whether they make any money or not. They don't. They lose money. They lose money. I've been saying for over a year, almost 2 years now, this is a raising rate environment is not the environment that you can maintain a company that loses crap tons of money. You just can't. All right, borrowing money has rising costs. That rising cost is demonstrated right here on the GGS2. While we did pull back a little bit, we may go on another rally here. FOMC meeting coming up. Do they cut or do they pop it? Do they hang out sideways? Orange line is the FOMC rate. Right now, we're in that zone. Coming up to the December meeting, coming up just next week. Orange is the Fed funds rate, FUNDS. The blue is the DGS2, 2-year constant maturity rate. If you thought that the Fed sets the rate, guess what? The market sets the rate. The Fed just chases it. It's evident all the way over here. There was the market rate, the Fed funds chasing it, chasing it, chasing it, chasing it, chasing it, caught it, then started getting out of control again, caught it again, and now we're sitting above it. Now, every time we've sat above it in the past has led to a financial crisis in modern trading times. Back in the freak out of late 2019, the rates freak out when they were raising rates. Freak out. And then icing on the cake was COVID. Right back down to zero. Great financial crisis. Crossed, hung sideways, kept it higher for longer. Then the GGS2 started plummeting. And financial crisis. The world's burning down. We've got to cut rates. Before that, dot-com bust. Same situation played out. Raising rates. GGS2 started dropping. We can hold hold rates higher. Nope, no, we can't. Oh my gosh, everything's going to zero, down to zero interest rates. Watch this chart. If the GGS2 continues to decline, they're going to have to cut rates sooner or later, and there's going to be a financial crisis of some sort. All right. If you didn't know how to track this, it's on the chart. Like, it's not going to be any kind of a surprise. All right. Cutting rates is freaking bad for the market. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for it means some crap's going down. All right. And probably stocks is the crap that's going down. Cutting rates is not bullish for anything. Raising rates means everything's pretty good. Raising rates at the fastest pace ever, maybe not the best decision. But raising rates, that means things are pretty good. Cutting rates, that's not going to be too good. All right. Hey, Slidge. Glad to have you, my man. Just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. FNGU, that one may retrace to the roadmap line. It's a lower high, rejected at the 786 right now. CRWD. Let's see what kind of, that's hitting a target probably. Breaking above the 618 level. Oh yeah. I had that alert for this big time frame pattern. Look right here. Higher than that. It's basically a market roadmap pattern on a weekly. Although we didn't have the roadmap line over here. We retraced to it. Bouncing. Getting above the 618. Back above that prior high. Makes 70% likely we're going to come up here. And it could be all next year to take us up there. 355. Could it go faster? Could. Big time frame, weekly time frame trade right there. Are there going to be pullbacks and crazy stuff in between? Yeah, probably. All right, not straight up. But that was my alert to go long, to consider a long position there. Maybe just buy a share. Put $240 on it. Stop is, unfortunately, all the way down here at like 80. Down below this low. Now, as we break above this zone right here, move your stop back up here above your entry. Ollie Oxenfree. Look how well this one's held up compared to, I mean, even right here, look on the daily. Like, this looks not as horrible as like Dollar General and Dollar Tree and all those others. Showing some strength off the lows. Even big, let's see. Look how bad Big Lots looks. Arguably, Ollies and Big Lots do the same thing. And look at DG. I mean, right there with Big Lots. ELTR. Same kind of thing. So Ollie actually seems to have their crap together compared to those. Whole different chart pattern. I think Fred's is gone. Yeah, Fred's went out of business, didn't it? So that was one of the other dollar stores. So this one actually did a roadmap line bounce right there on the daily chart. That's the conservative entry now. Target 86.91. Nice potential. How long? 3 to 5 weeks. Monday. Looks like that one's going to come back to the roadmap line. EDU. Looks like that one wants to come back to the roadmap line. It's been since June. TOL. Man, that's a rockin'. That's at targets. Check your profits. We could potentially see something up to 94. More likely to get a pullback. SIG. Yeah, that's pretty good for Ollie. You know, Ollie's strong. Not closing a location in 30 years. I mean, shows they know how to pick them. SIG, right there at targets. Watch out for a pullback. NTES. There's your pullback. Right to the roadmap line. Got to get above that zone to go long. Otherwise, we could go a little lower. MLGO. Oh, sideways chopping, nasty. Nope. Don't touch that. Dangerous. Danger, danger. Stove is hot. SQM. That looks pretty horrible. I mean, could it be bottoming? Could. Do you want to risk that that's the bottom? We break down below this 30 area, we could go down to pretty close to 0. I would not go long until we're back above the roadmap line. We're at the 618. Could it go higher? Maybe. Back above the roadmap line would be your first initial indication. Then you got some other levels right there. Right there. Right there. That quadruple top. Resistance. And fib ladder resistance right in that zone. There's your 618 level right in there. It's got some stuff to work through, like a lot of stuff. Discover Financial, nice pop. People borrowing money like crazy. Resistance at the downtrend line. I just need to clean that up. Let's just clean this up. So we had this downtrend line. We're breaking above it. You can see high, 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 high. Mucked it up there. Tried to break above. Crushed it. Right back below. Lowest low. Right back up to it. If, you know, let's be honest. There's a gap right here. Look, that gap is resistance. We're going to have to be above that gap to go long. Are things looking positive? Yeah, but above that gap is the entry. Looking for 141, possibly 157. Anything below that is kind of gambling because we can turn down and go lower low once again. All right, that's a downtrend at this point. Just trying to break out. We've tried before. We tried twice. Got slammed down both times. Be careful. Baidu. That one still trying to figure out what it's doing. Still. Rejected the roadmap line, came back Did the 618 retrace. This could be a measured bounce. Could. It's going to take a break back above this high. Going to take a break back above that level. J2, I took an aggressive entry on this on the break above the box. Sitting just kind of break even, slightly underwater. It was out to, I think, 2025. I think I bought to January 2025 with a synthetic long on the potential measured bounce. 618 bounce off of this one big picture. Now we have a second one. Once we break above this, it's game on. Probably going to go substantially higher, which would be like 200. I'm just going to sit on it for now. Put my risk on, not adding, not closing, not even looking at it. MDB. Met the resistance, may retrace to the roadmap line again. Had trouble breaking through the prior high. If it could find some support where we are, that's, getting a green day. If we pop back above that, getting a 469. If we break down below that 618, probably come back to the roadmap line. It's not clear, not high probability, so I'm not trading it. ASAN, sideways choppy. FLNC, sideways choppy. So much better opportunities. Box, ooh. So much for that. Sideways choppy. Underneath the roadmap line, lower highs. Be careful. That one can come on back down in this zone over here. INMD. Lowest low. Nothing looks like a reversal so far. We may go even lower. Doesn't look like the bottom yet. And BTI. That's why you wait for them to be above the roadmap line. Right there. Look at that. Turn down. Gap down. Where's the bottom? I don't know. Yeah, cigarette's not doing so well. All right. Buys for the day. Watching and waiting. Now, remember, I said ES has that bearish potential setup. All right. Let's go update it now that we've got more time on the clock. Yeah. Watch out. We get below those lows from back there on Monday, Tuesday. Ooh, watch out. Probably going to a 3 to 5% pullback if we get below this. Maybe deeper. All right. The outlines here, support there, 3.5% pullback, support down here at the downtrend line, support the roadmap line, 3 to 5%. That's what I expect. Could we go deeper? Yeah, we could. Could come back to the lows if we don't hold those support zones. Could we break out and go higher? Yeah. Still got 70% likely we're going to tag that before we break below the roadmap line. Before we even touch the roadmap line, actually. So I do kind of expect us to hold above the roadmap line and run up to that 47.18 area. Could we just pop it now? Could. Not very likely with that big, strong move up and the corporate buybacks ending and all the things I've said so far today. So there you go. If you want to get more information on anything in particular, I'll be in Discord. Just hit me up with what you're thinking, and you'll be like, "Hey, JT, use the Trader Talk channel, hashtag Trader Talk, Trader-Talk." And for my members, for my paying supporters, come chat with me. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. That's what's moving today, and we'll be back with you again.